Spotify Raptors drop. Leave a little comment. Tell me who your top artist was. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning! Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh yeah! Woo! Let's do this thing. And no, you are not seeing things, ladies and gentlemen. The Snowman is unfortunately unable to join us today. So we have got the droid and the dog running the party on this wacky Wednesday. Oh, hell, what are we getting ourselves into today?
Let's just say this. Good morning!
Welcome, one and all, like I said, to the wacky, oh, hell, they're running it today, Wednesday edition of Snowman in the morning. And, of course, this first hour and possibly only hour, depending on how things go, is brought to you by SeatGeek. Make sure you use code Snowman for a discount because what else are we going to do? Football season is just about to end, but there's plenty of concerts and live events. Use code Snowman to get yourself a discount at SeatGeek. Hey, Victor Locke is joining us from Chicago, my brother. What's going on?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are both of y'all doing?
We doing good. We doing good, and we have got ourselves a jam packer today.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually get to do something a little bit different to open up the party.
Okay.
You got your quarters ready?
I got quarters and tokens. We going to the arcade?
We're going to the arcade. And ladies and gentlemen, we have got a treat for y'all today because joining us live from just a few hours up the road from me, ironically, is the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing reigning, defending, undisputed champion, the one and only Parker White. Parker,
hey guys,
welcome, buddy. What's going on?
Good morning, sir.
It's been a pretty good morning so far.
My man, first off, hell of a season this year, picking up that championship, man. What was it like? Because this was, I believe, your first time getting into the Final Four. What was it like going up against those guys like Nick the Quick, Nick O, and everybody else?
Yeah, I mean, I was just going in there just trying to have a good time. Obviously, like you said, it was my first time there, so I really didn't expect to like win because they had all been there before. They knew what it was like racing in that environment, and like I really didn't know what to expect. But I feel like I did a lot of prep for that, and I feel like I did the right prep, uh, and it paid off. So uh, I just couldn't be more happy with how it ended up. Obviously, winning the championship was the goal, and I did that. So pretty cool.
Hey,
Yeah, of course, and congratulations to you. But with your time in eNASCAR, meeting so many great people from so many different organizations, you know, having probably good handful of teammates. Um, who do you think was your favorite person to compete with?
Competing with on the track, I'd say probably either Donovan Strauss or Steven Wilson. Both of them are my teammates, so always fun to race around them. Steven is always up at the front, and Don and I always seem to qualify right next to each other in the races. So uh, always fun racing around those two, and they race me clean.
As myself as a Kansas City Pioneers fan, I think you know who I'm talking about when I say Wyatt Tinsley and Graham
Yeah,
Boland.
yeah, of course. Both of them are my
With
teammates too. So
yeah, with Wyatt winning that first leg at Daytona and then also winning Daytona overall, did that come as a surprise to you, or did you think, oh, this is just another Wyatt race?
uh, honestly, I would say so a little. Like it wasn't like, oh, why it's not going to win this race because it's Daytona, really anyone can win. But uh, just with the way that season went, it's like, yeah, Wyatt will be in the playoffs. It's another car for us. But unfortunately, he didn't end up making the playoffs. So uh, it was good to see him get that win. It helped us out a lot. He was able to help us out throughout the regular season and help us get in the playoffs. Like I said, unfortunately, it didn't work out for him, but just it's pretty cool to see him win. He won the Clash and then won that race, so pretty cool to go back to back.
Yeah, and then of course, in your time competing in just iRacing overall, esports overall, what was your favorite event to ever participate in?
I would say across all of iRacing, probably the Nürburgring 24 Hours was a lot of fun this year. Uh, I learned that track about this time last year. Obviously, it's a really big track. It's like 7-8 miles long, something like that. So uh, definitely not an easy track to learn. So racing that for 24 hours this year was a lot of fun.
That's good to hear. I mean, I personally have heard a lot of stories from Don, and I've heard that you two have clashed quite a bit when it came to iRacing, whether it be in an incident involving multiple cars or just overall racing to the line and having a photo finish type thing. Um, you've met. I know I said this before. You met multiple players, multiple teams. But I want to know what it's like working in Williams as a part of Williams Esports.
Yeah, Williams has been a really big help for me. Uh, the biggest thing with all the eNASCAR teams and the actual setup teams, so like for example, I'm on North Force Racing. Like I said, like your guys, like Granville and White Tinsley, they're both my teammates at NFR. And then you have like what you would call like the show teams, I guess. So like Williams, like the Pioneers, like those teams. So there can sometimes be a disconnect within the teams. Uh, so like for example, if when drivers from like North Force Racing and other guys from like Dead Zone or something, there's a disconnect between those two guys, and they'll be on two different setups. So what I really like about Williams is we actually get to work directly with everyone at Williams. It's not like they just like wish us good luck in the race and like that's it. Like we actually get to interact with them like on a daily basis, which that's really big for me. Just having a team that I can talk to, build a relationship with, and of course Don, he's a really big part at NFR as well. So we get to work together all the time. So that's what I've really enjoyed about Williams.
Yeah, for sure. Now, everyone's wondering more than likely what actually got you involved with iRacing. Like, what made it tick that you could actually be competitive with this?
So it was like I think it was like October 2019 or something. I was just playing like all the NASCAR Heat games. It's like, well, this is pretty fun. I would like to kind of take this a step further. And I was just watching a lot of videos of iRacing and just the way the driving physics looked. It looked like it was like the real deal. So uh, I got iRacing like late October 2019, and as soon as I started driving, I'm like, wow, this is like exactly how I expected it to be, like even better. Like the driving physics felt really good, and I was uh, like I'd like to do something with this. I didn't necessarily want to like go all the way to the Coke series. I just wanted to like use it as like a hobby, like just for fun.
Hmm.
So then obviously 2020 came around and COVID hit. So I had a lot of time inside at the house, just doing a lot of laps on the rig. Met a lot of really good friends, and from there I was just able to progress all the way up until the Coke series. I tried Road to Pro for the first time in 2021. Didn't quite make it through that year. I just kind of used it like as a learning experience. Did it again in 2022 with NFR. That was my first full year with North Force Racing, and was able to make it through that year. So ever since then, I've had everyone at NFR help me just to get to this point.
Yeah, that's amazing. I have actually my copy of NASCAR Heat 3 right here. Was one of the first ever NASCAR games I played. Next, it was like a Thunder 2003.
Hmm.
Was actually my first one, but this is my first one on a new gen console. But the championship race, going into the race, what was going through your mind? Take us through that.
Yeah, so it really all started even before I went to Charlotte. Like the way I was preparing for that race was just basically trying to get as many distractions around me as possible. Like I have actually 4 screens on my sim rig, so I would have the broadcasts from the 2023 race playing up on my top monitor. Then I just have like YouTube videos or something playing on both my right and left monitor just to kind of like get used to driving with distractions, especially for qualifying because qualifying in eNASCAR is extremely important. Track position because we're all just super close. It's really hard to pass just because we're all super close on speed. So
Hmm.
uh, that helped me out a lot, just practicing with distractions. And one thing that actually helped me out a lot was SimSeats who did our rigs in Charlotte. They actually had our rigs set up in our hotel rooms when we got there. I think we got there on Friday before the race, so we had a lot of time just to kind of get used to those rigs that they provided us. Uh, and like the biggest thing for me was in a different environment because we were in our hotel rooms. I'm used to driving in my living room at home, so uh, like just getting used to that helped me out a lot. I was like, okay, this isn't much different. Like I'm doing the same thing. Luckily for me, I have a SimSeats rig here at home, so it's pretty easy to get used to that. So uh, then I wasn't sure what to expect going into the day of the race. Like obviously I've been to the Hall of Fame before. I know what it's like in there, but just walking in there on the day of the race, like I was just locked in, just ready to go. Like I didn't try to think about the crowd at all. Uh, like obviously I knew the crowd was there. Like we did driver introductions. I got to see everyone there. But once the race started, like I didn't think about it much. Uh, and I could just barely hear the broadcast like muffled in the background, which was very useful for me because when I was preparing, like I could like clearly hear them talking in my headset because obviously I just had the broadcast from last year playing in the background. So uh, like I was really able to get locked in, just in the zone, just do my own thing in that race. And oddly enough, I really didn't feel all that much pressure compared to other races because I feel like I just put so much pressure on myself during the prep and like I knew it was going to be my biggest race ever that I've ever done on iRacing. So uh, just everything I did in preparations for that, and just going into that event knowing that I'm racing in front of a live audience, that helped me out a lot, and I was able to stay calm during the race.
Yeah, and again, that was a crazy race. I watched all of this year because um, well, kind of because Matt Ness, you might have met him. He's one of the creative directors at Pioneers, but he was like, "Dude, you need to watch this eNASCAR thing." And Don was also preaching it to me, so I was like, I'll watch the first few races and see how it goes. And then Vegas happened with what was that like from your perspective with how that race dramatically ended?
Yeah, the Las Vegas race was very frustrating for me because obviously Daytona, Wyatt won that race, and like I wanted to win Vegas. Like I just wanted to get myself locked into the playoffs as soon as possible. So I qualified really good that race. I was up in the front with my teammate Steven. I think Don was up there as well. Uh, there was a lot of NFR cars up there, and we were basically just dominating that race for like the first half. And we got a very bad timed caution. It was probably around like lap 30, 40, somewhere around there, like just right before the pit window would have opened. And none of us up at the front were going to pit and give up our track position to get more fuel. However, the guys on the very back, they have nothing to lose, so they ended up pitting for fuel. And I feel like I drove a really good race all the way up until the end. And our last pit stop, I think I pit a couple laps after everyone, so I'd have the precious tires. And I remember racing up at the front. I think I was racing like Casey Kerwin. We were racing for what would have been the race lead if those guys had to pit. So what was going through my mind at that time, I was like, okay, I'm probably racing for the lead here, so if I could just get by as soon as possible, just pull away, then I should have this race won. But uh, I didn't realize how much fuel they could have saved at the front, and then like those guys like Keegan, like Nick Ottinger, Cody Bias, like they were side by side in the last lap, but obviously they ended up wrecking, and Keegan got by and won the race. So uh, it was pretty unfortunate for me. Just like that, it was a bit hard those few days after the race, just trying to recover, just being like, just put this behind me. I still got a good finish that race. I still finished fifth, so uh, I was carrying a lot of momentum into the next few races, and that's really what kind of really set up the whole season, like the tone of the season. Like you had the crazy finish with like Keegan, Nick, and Cody, and then another race that I felt like got away from me was Charlotte because I was really quick that race. I remember I even got a caution that trapped me a lap down after I pit in that race. I took the wave round, was on older tires, and I drove all the way back to the lead on old tires. So to see that race kind of slip away from me was a bit disappointing, but uh, just never gave up throughout the whole season. And obviously got that win at Phoenix, and that just carried a lot of momentum into Homestead that won me the championship.
Yeah, definitely. It was one of those seasons to definitely keep an eye on throughout the course of the entire run. What was it like being in Phoenix, getting all those accolades? Because you were there for championship weekend for the actual rate for the actual guys. What was it like on your end for all that?
Yeah, just that whole week in general was just super cool for me. I've never been further west than like Detroit, I'm pretty sure, and that was just like the stopover at the airport. So, uh, getting to go to Phoenix with all my friends was extremely cool. Just being out west in the desert, just very cool to see like the whole landscape and everything. We got to spend a couple of days there before the race, so just seeing everything that was there in Phoenix was super cool. And then just at the track, just getting to do like all interviews on the stage was super cool. Uh,
Mhm.
just that whole weekend was really cool, and I got to go in the drivers' meeting. Uh, like I even got to hang out with Brad Keselowski and his hauler. So just getting to hang out with like all these like super good drivers, like real life drivers, was really cool.
Yeah, definitely. And believe it or not, you and I have actually kind of come close crossing paths before because I was actually at the Xfinity race in New Hampshire. I know you and Dan were there for the weekend. I think I came close to running into you guys there. I
Yeah,
was actually on pit road for the Xfinity race.
yeah. I actually wasn't in New Hampshire this year. I've actually never been to New Hampshire, but I'll probably try to go next year.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe one of those. I maybe misdid one of those tweets. My brain is still half here today. It's been a long week.
Yeah, I remember I put out some tweet. It might have even been of the New Hampshire race because we went to the Cook Center this year, and
Mhm.
yeah, Daniel Falkenham was there, and it just started absolutely like pouring. So I was like,
Yeah.
if anyone's gonna bring the rain to a NASCAR race, it's gonna be him. And I remember even before we went to Phoenix, I was like, if it rains here at Phoenix, it's all because of Dan. So
Yeah, that would definitely happen. That'd be his luck. So what have you been doing during the off season? You've been tinkering and tuning a little bit. You still been behind the wheel. What's been going on with you these days?
yeah, not really much for the off season for me actually. I'm racing in the MCE Sports Global Championship, and we have a race on Saturday. I'll be driving this weekend. So this is a championship I've actually been looking forward to for quite a long time. I was watching it last year. Unfortunately, I didn't get to race, so pretty excited to be able to race this weekend. Uh, but really, I don't really want to take too much of a break. I just want to stay sharp on my driving skills and just kind of hang out with everyone, all my teammates, just anytime I can. So not really much of off season for me.
Yeah, definitely. I get how that goes with all the bigger guys that are out there and how tight these schedules can be from time to time because running in all these different championships does take a lot. So I get it when it comes to stuff like that. So if anything else you want to mention, we're coming up a little bit on a break, but is there anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
I'm not really. Obviously, just got to thank everyone, North Sports Racing, all my friends, Williams Esports, that just got me to the position to fight for that championship this year. So really, just can't give enough credit to them.
I also like receiving the ring is my last thing. Receiving the ring. What was the first thing you thought about when you got that ring in your hands?
Honestly, I really don't know. Like, because that was like the first time that weekend I had been on the stage in front of like the entire crowd. So, uh, to be honest, I really just wasn't thinking about the ring that much because I had that big check there, and just getting to see everyone out there in the crowd and like in the stands, being like, yeah, like I'm here on stage in front of everyone here at the racetrack on Sunday of the big race. So, like I said, it was just a really cool experience for me, just that whole weekend, just looking back at it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, hey man, we thank you for being the first guest in the arcade, and we would love to have you back anytime next season for sure.
Thank you.
Hey, Parker White, everybody.
I recently, actually, let me grab this if I can.
What you grabbing now?
I actually recently got one of my first sim racing wheels.
Oh?
If all these blankets, didn't come tumbling down, that would be nice. At a Logitech.
Oh, you got a G920?
Yep. This is my first sim racing wheel, and I love it dearly. And I think eNASCAR was like one of the big reasons I bought this wheel. I'm really happy I have this. I think the only problem I have is that these buttons don't work. These little buttons on the side don't work. I've been trying to bind F1 and NASCAR Heat, but they just don't. They don't want to bind. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen.
Trust me, I see where you're coming from. This is my new little beast. Thankfully, it's actually detachable. It's a PXN V99 wheel I actually ended up winning in a contest, and it's actually really cool. So,
all right, folks, we're going to head to a break. After this, we're just going to go all over the place. Back after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code Snowman for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BET in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meep of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, pretty much.
That, and again, thank you, Parker White. For
Yeah, definitely. That was awesome.
For, I think, the second opening of the arcade ever and the first interview on the arcade. We want to have more esports. We want to have more esports, not just players, but also maybe even team
owners, managers,
and all that. We'd love to have more on, and you know our contacts. They're usually down below, but if you want to contact for an interview, just go to Snowman Multimedia. I believe it's snowmanmultimedia@gmail.com.
Yes.
So.
Anyways, we got a lot to talk about.
Well, what's on your mind then, bruh?
College football.
Oh yeah.
And the crazy.
We got robbed, man. I'm sorry, we got robbed.
Okay, explain it then. How'd you get robbed?
Baylor exists. Baylor is a damn school, and we got robbed because of it.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
I am joking.
Now, as we know, what?
Let's pull up the projected bracket.
I've already got it, dude. You're forgetting. I run about 6 different tabs on my screen.
Well, then share your damn screen.
Shut up. I've got everything in front of me. The 1 through 4 seeds currently sitting. If the playoffs were to start today, this is all based off of them winning their conference championships. Number 1, Oregon. Number 2, Texas. Number 3, SMU. And number 4, Boise would all get the byes.
Oof.
And the first round matchups on campus would be number 9, Tennessee against number 8, Ohio State in Ohio State. New Jersey. No, I'm reading that wrong. The Arizona State Sun Devils would be taking on number 5, Penn State. Yes, I'm having that type of day today. Shut up. You got number 11, Alabama, taking on number 6, Notre Dame. And Indiana would take on, number 10, Indiana would take on number 7, Georgia, which puts the first team out as Miami.
Wow.
Now, this is all based off of winning their conference championship games on Saturday. Obviously, this can change in a huge way. But this is stacked up and down.
I don't know about SMU still. I still don't know.
Well, SMU, the only way they're going to be sitting 3 is if they end up winning their conference championship over Clemson.
Oh yeah, because Miami didn't make the conference championship.
As a matter of fact, as I'm pulling up what we've got coming up for conference championships here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Clemson SMU will end Saturday night in Charlotte for the ACC championship.
So we're gonna break this down with beats, but let us tell you the matchups for each conference. For your Conference USA championship, it's gonna be Western Kentucky versus Jacksonville State.
Yeah, it's Friday night.
That's Friday night at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Your Mountain West championship is going to be the UNLV Rebels versus the Boise State Broncos.
That's going to be in
Wave versus Army.
Yeah, UNLV Boise State's going to be in Boise. Tulane against number 24 Army will be
in New York.
It's in West Point.
It's in West Point.
West Point.
Your Big 12 championship will be Iowa State versus Arizona State.
That's going to be big in Jerry World.
Your MAC championship is going to be Ohio versus Miami in Ohio.
Ford Field in Detroit's getting that one.
Georgia, Texas is your SEC championship.
That's gonna be a
shootout.
Yeah, it is.
And
I think Texas get curb stomped again, personally.
Well, and here's the thing, and as we all know, the rule of the betting line: if it's 3 and under against the home team, don't bank on it.
Right.
Texas is only favored by 2.5.
Your Sun Belt championship, the champions of the Sun Belt East, the champions of the Sun Belt West, Louisiana Raging Cajuns versus the champions of the Sun Belt East, the Marshall Thundering Herd.
And it's in Lafayette and Cajun Field.
Your ACC championship will be SMU Clemson.
In Charlotte.
And then your final championship that matters is the Big Ten championship.
Casually tosses that out there.
Right.
Penn State, Oregon.
Inside Lucas Oil.
But we forget one more thing.
What's that?
The FCS has their playoffs going on.
That's because usually nobody talks about the FCS, dude.
Well, we're going to be different.
You're the one bringing this up, not me.
All right, so for the 2020... Why does that say 2026? Okay, that says 2025. My bad. The font of NCAA sucks, okay?
You're not wrong.
They've already finished their first round. UT Martin with the upset over New Hampshire, 41-10. Lehigh gets the upset over Richmond, 20-16. Southeast Missouri State falls to Illinois State, 35-27. Tarleton State beats Drake, 43-29. Montana takes care of Tennessee State, 41-27. Villanova takes care of EKU, the Colonels, 22-17. Central Connecticut State fell to Rhode Island, 21-17, and Abilene Christian shut out Northern Arizona, 24-0. Your second round of the FCS championship will be Montana State versus UT Martin, Idaho versus Lehigh, North Dakota State versus Abilene Christian, Mercer versus Rhode Island, University Incarnate Ward versus Villanova, South Dakota State versus Montana, South Dakota versus Tarleton State, and UC Davis versus Illinois State finishes out your FCS second round.
Wow.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
Yeah, there is. There really is.
I want to say this. I want this to be a rule. For some reason, I want to make the FCS and the FBS a little more interesting. The champions of the FCS, I think, should automatically be promoted to the FBS.
I could see that. I mean, it's a lot like the
And the worst team in the FBS will be sent down to the FCS.
So a lot like what they do with football out in Europe, the regulation zone.
Because the relegation, yes. Because
Regu-
Kent
yeah,
State finished
relegation.
0-11.
Ah,
Whereas like
yeesh.
0-12.
It's let's just put it this way: 0 for season.
If
Sounds
you
about
That's the
right.
easiest way to put it. 0 for
And
season.
you go,
That
if you
sounds
go
about
to
right.
the standings and you go to the MAC, they are 0-12 in the season, 0-8 in the conference. They
Mhm.
suck.
Yeah, like I said,
would
0 for
rather
season.
listen. This is how you rebuild. This is how you get the Pac-12 rebuild started. We already have confirmed teams moving to the Pac-12.
Yeah.
And those teams are as follows, all from the Mountain West. You have Boise State, you have Colorado State, Fresno State, Utah State, and San Diego State. 5 teams. But to be considered an actual full conference, you have to have 8 teams.
Yeah, you do.
Who do you think makes the move? Do you think it's an FCS team making the move up to D1? Not up to D1, up to the FBS to join the Pac-12? Or do you think just some random team, maybe a CUSA team like Sam Houston or UTEP? You also got the New Mexico State over there. And New Mexico State can't join the Mountain West because New Mexico has it in their contract to where New Mexico State can't join the Mountain West.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how deep the rivalry runs, where they're signing contracts that say that team cannot be in our conference.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, that sounds like something they took out of F1 when Prost and Senna were working together.
That's crazy. But I think this is going to be your best option. Pac-12, if you were hearing this, you got Gonzaga.
Wait a minute. Am I sensing something?
Turn off the propane. This is not a rant.
It's getting there.
It's not a rant. Pac-12, I'm going to tell you this. You got Gonzaga. Good job. But you need one more. I say get one more basketball school in there as well. You need 2 basketball schools and 8 football schools at least for me to consider you even back in the Power 5.
Mm-hmm.
I say add Texas State from the Sun Belt. Add Texas State to the Pac-12. A lot of people are going to be like, that doesn't make sense. Look where Texas State is located. Just do a quick little search. Texas State University location. It is in San Marcos. Do you know where San Marcos is?
No.
You don't?
No, I don't.
You're not.
It is south of Austin, northeast of San Antonio. It is right on that border between Pacific and Atlantic.
Right.
I would say bring him to the Pacific. I know, because geographical location doesn't make sense anymore. You don't need to worry about that anymore.
Right.
Make it the Pac-10 at least. Make it the Pac-10 at least. Remember the Pac-10 when they were a thing? The Pac-8 maybe? I don't care.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Bring in Texas State, and for your last school, you could grab an AAC school. A lot of people are going to be like, well, what AAC school could they bring in? Well, you got Wichita State. Wichita State is also on that teeter crossing border between being in the Pacific West and the Atlantic East, which is why they're in the American Athletic Conference, because they have no defined region.
Mm-hmm.
You also have plenty of options within Utah. Maybe you can somehow convince BYU to switch over. Good luck with that, though.
That ain't gonna happen.
I'd say if you're gonna shoot for one more basketball school, grab either Creighton, Wichita State, or grab Northern Arizona. Because Grand Canyon is a lost cause. Grand Canyon is going to the Mountain West. Just grab one of those teams. I want to see you back as considered a Power 5 conference. And remember, you don't need to worry about geographical location, just as long as their state is not touching the Atlantic Ocean. Like
right.
Texas. like Louisiana. You could grab ULM for all I care. Just please become a conference again.
I love the subtle plea. Just please.
Also, by
Become
the way,
competent.
bleep you, Shane.
You for real? I think he is.
Your Bruins also lost me $100 last night, but
ooh,
shut up, bitch! Oh my God!
Man,
I put 100 down on Detroit, 2-1 in the third, and then my hopes and dreams were crushed as soon as it got sent to overtime.
Yeah. We'll take that.
I've never cried so hard over 100. And the fact is, we lost to the Penguins.
is it more just Penguins just becoming not a joke anymore?
The Penguins are slowly ramping up. They're on a 4-game win streak.
Penguins
Nice.
feel like they becoming a real deal.
And I know you want to say something, Shane, but shut up. You're a part of this win streak that Pittsburgh has.
I ain't saying crap. The hell you talking about? I know this.
I can sense you thinking it.
No, what you sense is bacon cooking.
Anyways, now I want to finally get to something I want to talk about.
You know what? Let's save that for after the break. We'll hit you up, and we'll close out with a couple other quick topics on top of that.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a little break. We'll be back after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
People tell me how lucky my daughter is to have been adopted. But really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Booty! Welcome back to the show, everybody.
I was about to say we're going to be running this straight through to the end, and I'm just glad about one thing. We don't need to worry about this today.
Nope,
Thank
get it
God.
off the screen. Get it off the screen. Get it off the screen. Get it off the screen.
Thank God we don't have to worry about that today.
My name is Droid. I'm here with the big dog, Shane Lake, and I'm here with Mr. Vicola.
How you doing, Jess?
All
I
right.
want to talk about music.
What's on your mind?
Okay. Let's go.
We've had a lot of great albums this year. You got Blue Lips from Schoolboy Q dropping his first album in a while. Kendrick Lamar dropping GNX. You got The Death of Slim Shady from Eminem. You got Future dropping We Don't Trust You. Denzel Curry, JPEG. You got a lot of lot of rap albums this year. But we got a question of the day.
Oh, we do?
Question of the day.
And
what
it is
your favorite album of all time? And what? And I mean favorite, not favorite album in terms of like, oh, I like the music elements. Like, what's your favorite album, and why does it have such a meaning to you?
Oh man, you guys are hitting me with one. There are too many.
Give you an album.
All right, what you got?
It's Goodbye and Good Riddance by Juice WRLD. His first studio album, and it was the one that hit me the hardest. Even today, I was going through a breakup back then, and needed something to cope. And
Gotcha.
I got a notification saying, "Hey, Juice WRLD dropped some music," and this is when SoundCloud was like really the big streaming platform. Spotify was like really in the shadows still.
Right.
I loaded up, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" Song after song after song after song. Like, I got a lot of those songs still stuck on my head to this day.
Oh man,
and that helped me get through that breakup, and it shaped me to now. And by the way, R.I.P. Juice WRLD. You would be missed. He would have been 26 this month.
Music has a way of soothing the soul or helping you in like times of need like that.
Yes.
For me, there's 3 that I always will go back to. First one is Kill 'Em All by Metallica, because I love Metallica. It's the first one that actually kind of got me into like heavy metal. Second is Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park, their first album.
Yes.
And third, I'm gonna go with Indestructible by Disturbed, because originally
you really got that dad rock playlist.
I do, because originally I was only gonna get it for like 2 songs, and that's the thing with a lot of Disturbed albums for me.
Yeah, I got there's so many Disturbed albums. I love 10,000 Fists is an amazing.
10,000 Fists is good too, but it's like I'm only gonna get it for like 1 song, get the CD for 1 song, but every single song I end up playing it from start to finish when I had a car, of course, like at least 12 different times a day.
You know, I feel like there's really been a big disconnect with music, because I was told back in the day by my father, he's like, dude, back in the day when you wouldn't know new music dropped until you went to the store and saw a new album.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I remember back in the day when hip hop record stores were the thing, and I mean, you wouldn't get a new track from a rap artist. It would be the people on the street that would get it first, and then like the record stores would get it, and you're like, oh man, Nas dropped the new track, Jay-Z dropped a new track. You wouldn't get that stuff till then.
And now everybody's so connected, but I also think this also helped. The internet also helps bring the music scene together
It
because
does.
you got the ability of these artists to tease their next albums.
Right.
But I like what Kendrick Lamar did with his most recent album, GNX. He just dropped it. No
Mhm.
teasers, no hints at an album. He just dropped it.
Yeah. Something just want the substance to come out. They just like, here, have it now.
And people said it brought them back to those days where you didn't know when an album would drop.
Right.
And I think, my top 3 albums of the year finally locked in.
Okay. Number 3.
We're actually gonna make it a top 5.
Okay, number 5.
Number 5, we're gonna do Beautifully Broken by Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolute cinema of an album. I never thought I would like country music, but 28 songs later, I was hooked.
Might be wrong to bring this in, but Jelly Roll did do like a nice little number for the Thanksgiving game between Dallas and
Yeah, I saw
that.
I think number 4, I was going to give it to Eminem, but I think Eminem dropped out of the top 5 so quickly. And I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
The Death of Slim Shady was an okay album. It was just basically a killing off a character, and he just kept rambling about, what are you gonna do? Cancel me? And it just kind of left the album with so much more to give.
Yeah.
And like so much more expected, and little less to give, more expected.
You question if Eminem is still as hungry as he used to be.
Yeah, that's
you question it.
It's a really big question. I really thought that with how I don't like country so much, I wasn't gonna like this. Post Malone's F1 Trillion actually takes a pretty good take on country, and the fact that he's diving deep into that genre and really going full circle, it's nice to watch.
It is.
So F1 Trillion goes to my 4. I never thought I'd have 2 country albums in my top 5, but hey, it is what it is. Country's making a comeback.
Yep.
Number 3. To a lot of people, this is too early, but to me, it's not. GNX by Kendrick Lamar. I have to put it in. Come on, like there's so much. People say that this just feels like a mixtape, but this is full of West Coast. This entire album screams West Coast.
Yeah, that's when it was good though. When it was more of a mixtape. It doesn't always have to be a theme. When it comes to albums.
I love every single name of every single song on this album because there's a West Coast reference in almost everything, like whacked out murals.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned what that term means through shout out Screwface Gene. I found out what that term means. It's basically like literally, it's basically drawing over somebody's art or their signs, their gang signs.
You cross them out.
You whack out their murals. And every single song was just West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. Even all the artists except one were all West Coast artists. The only one was SZA, who's from St. Louis. That's a fun fact for you. And another fun fact, SZA's actually a big fan of the St. Louis Blues.
Oh.
Number 2. This one was tough to pick because you got I Laid Down My Life for You by JPEG Mafia. Recently, you got The Party Never Ends by Juice WRLD, his 3rd and final album to ever release, according to the Juice WRLD estate. His 3rd posthumous album, his 5th studio album, and his last ever album to release. Of course, we might get anniversary editions with a few extra songs that might be sitting in the folders. And then you got Chromacopia, Tyler. but I'm gonna bring you to metal for this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna say You Don't Go Before You're Supposed To by Not to Lose takes number 2.
Mm.
A literal Grammy, a Grammy nominated album, the first metal band, I think since Metallica to play on a late night show, as Knocked Loose performed "Suffocate" featuring Poppy on Saturday Night Live with Jimmy Kimmel, and finally, at number 1, again, I named a few albums, but this one, in my opinion, is just a cinema. I have to go just because of story and just because of the fact that this is the volume 2 of his original mixtape, which is from before even SoundCloud days. King of the Mischievous South, volume 2 by Denzel Curry.
Ooh.
This brings me like old hip hop to the new age. Denzel Curry's been doing that. And I think personally this takes the cake for album of the year. You can come at me. Of course, I praised Blue Lips a lot. Schoolboy Q's Blue Lips is amazing. I just think KOTMS, Cotton's KOTMS is easily album of the year for me. But I'm curious, what's for a lot of people who may watch the show, have kept up with not even just rap but all music in general, what is your album of the year? Let us know in the comments. And now, the NFL Hall of Fame.
Oh boy.
Yep.
So
Pro Football Hall of Fame has announced their 5 individuals that have reached the finalist stage.
And they are
Ralph Hay, who's a contributor, Mike Holmgren, who's a coach, and the 3 of them that are listed as seniors are Maxie Bahan, Sterling Sharp, and Jim Trier.
I'm noticing a name missing.
Yeah. I'm certain old Snowman knows that name missing too.
Roger Craig.
So once again, Roger Craig misses out in the Hall of Fame. And again, the question goes back to what constitutes a Hall of Fame career.
Well, they're still also trying to decide from the 25 players that are still in the running to make the Hall of Fame. And that list is massive because they finally whittled it down.
Gotcha.
I think there's one receiver that deserves to get in the Hall of Fame, and he's a former Colt. The name T.Y. Hilton. Make any sense to y'all?
Yeah.
Well, there's also, it's funny you bring that up because Reggie Wayne is on the list of players that are trying to get into the Hall. I got the full 25 player list in front of me, and the only quarterback that survived was Eli Manning.
Wow.
I don't think Eli should be going in this early.
Not this early. I know what they're going to say is that, well, he was the kryptonite to, the Brady-led New England Patriots, especially him playing spoiler to the nearly perfect season. But even then, it's like after those 2 Super Bowls, like what really did Eli do?
Well, let me give you the rest of the list so we can kind of break this down real quick. Okay. On the running back side, it's Fred Taylor and Ricky Waters.
Okay.
Wide receivers, Anquan Bolden, Torrey Holt, Steve Smith Sr., Hines Ward, and Reggie Wayne.
Oh, Steve Smith and Torrey Holt on the same ticket. Oh.
Let me throw in the tight end, Antonio Gates.
Oh, that's a good one.
Offensive lineman, Willie Anderson, Jahari Evans, Richmond Webb, Steve Wineski, and Marshall Yanda.
Wow.
Defensive backs, Eric Allen, Rodney Harrison, Earl Thomas, and Darren Woodson. Linebackers, James Lights Out Harrison, Luke Kuechly, and Terrell Suggs. Defensive linemen, Jared Allen, Robert Mathis, and Big Vince Wilfork. And kicker, Adam Big V Vinatieri.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely going. He should definitely go. You talk about someone who was accurate and the longevity as well. I don't think you can top that.
No, but old Snowman is probably seething right about now that there's no love for Craig, because looking at these guys that are going in on the senior card, Maxie Bauham played from 1960 to 1970 and then came out of retirement in 74. Yeah, Pro Bowl 9 times, up Philadelphia, win the championship in 60. Somebody that was in Roger Craig's era, Sterling Sharp. He played for the Packers from 88 to 94 and named to the Pro Bowl 5 times.
Right.
Now, granted, his career was cut short due to a neck injury, but that's in the Roger Craig era. And Roger did so much more.
Yeah.
So where's the justice in all of this is my question.
There really is none, because it is based on really a form of favoritism. And you can only say it as that. Again, this is why I said that it's very tough to have beat writers be the ones that make these choices, because beat writers have a bias. Whether people want to admit it or not, they do have a bias. Some of them are more fans of their own home team. Some may just like a certain player over another. Some may have gotten snubbed, or may have had a bad interview, and they're like, I'll never vote this person in the Hall of Fame because I don't like them. Period.
Right.
And it just becomes really muddled, because it's no longer about what you do on the court. It's who you can rub elbows with.
Yeah, it turns more into a popularity contest instead of the statistics that got you into the dance.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest problem is, if you look at things statistically speaking, Roger Craig should have been in many moons ago.
He should have been, I would say, at least 10 years ago. He probably should
have been. He has the resume to get in, so why are people keeping him out?
Your guess is good as mine. Another thing is that people will say, because I remember we had an individual here who was like, well, he was a cog in the wheel, because he was with San Fran, and San Fran already had a very stacked team. So it's like he was a cog in the wheel, not necessarily the driving force. Doesn't matter if you're a cog in the wheel. If your numbers, state that you belong in that hall, that's all that matters, whether you're a cog in the wheel or you're the only star player in your team. That's like saying Steve Smith shouldn't get in because he was on the Carolina Panthers, which were garbage for many, many years. Well, that's not his fault. He only did what he could do on the team.
Exactly. And okay, just to go over the highlights of Roger Craig: 3-time Super Bowl champion, NFL Offensive Player of the Year in 88, first team All-Pro in 88, second team All-Pro in 85, 4-time Pro Bowler, Jim Thorpe Trophy Award winner in 88, NFL receptions leader in 85, 1980s All-Decade Team, San Fran 49er Hall of Fame, and second team All-Big 8 in 81. 165 games played, 73 touchdowns on 566 receptions, totaling 4,911 yards.
Also, it makes me a lot of the beat writers always kind of drop off the last couple decades. They don't really consider the last couple decades to be anything of note. So it's like, who cares? It was in the 80s. Let's get with the now. What's with the now? People like probably Aaron Rodgers, if he would retire. Of course, Tom Brady, for good reason.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Like people like that. They're probably going to look at it from that. Like, get with like the times of now, or at least a decade ago, not 2-3 decades ago,
And that's the problem is, and I have to say this because I've also kind of seen this with the NASCAR Hall of Fame. A lot more of the guys who have recently retired are going in instead of the guys who have been retired for 10, 20 years, because guys like, Harry Gant isn't getting his due, or, Ricky Rudd, isn't getting his due, or guys like that. It's the same problem.
Right.
Go
ahead, Shane.
It's ridiculous. It really is.
It's a matter of, what have you done for me lately? And I'll ask you guys this, both of you. Is there a person that has not been in the Hall of Fame, whatever Hall of Fame it is, that you just find it to be a total robbery that they have not gotten the Hall yet?
Droid, you take the first crack at this one.
No.
Really?
I don't want to. Like, all of this is just bullshit. That's all I can really say.
It's bull flop.
It really is.
Yeah. See, I don't personally have someone who hasn't gotten in yet. The only one I could kind of like gripe about, even though he has finally gotten in, was T.O. Because I was a fan of T.O. when he was in San Fran. Then he went to Philly, and then, of course, went to Dallas. Yeah. Everywhere he went, he made an impact. But everyone's like, well, he doesn't have, good he doesn't have good team chemistry. He's not a team player. It's like, does it matter if it doesn't matter? Is it on the field or not? Did he do what he's supposed to do on the field? Yes or no? Yes. There you go.
I mean, it took him forever to put Randy Moss in the Hall.
It did, and I thought that was stupid.
I mean, look what he did. Granted, he made his name originally with Minnesota.
Yeah.
But look what he did with New England in that year. Brady broke the record.
Oh my God. I remember I was driving home when that game happened, and I listened to the call, and I was so happy because Randy Moss deserved it. Absolutely.
Yes. And I believe it was actually a throw to Moss that broke the record.
It did. It was. And I think it was a fly route too. I think it was a straight
fly
route.
It was a deep fly.
Deep fly route. And Brady just caught Moss in mid-stride, and he was gone.
Exactly.
But it's like, again, and one of the people who really led the charge against was Skip Bayless. We'll get to that, later.
But we'll save that for a confessional.
Right, but that's the issue. It's like it's always these sports media analysts, not of course not us. We try to be as
the big name
impartial as possible.
It's the big name talking heads. It's the big name talking heads.
The punditry. And these guys, they always like, well, this person, I just don't like this person. I don't like the way he carries himself and everything. I don't like the way he does this. What difference does it make?
Look what he did on the field. That's all that matters.
Right.
Getting into a hall is what you did to make your name in the sport.
Exactly.
Now, granted, everyone's going to have their idiotic biases, even to those who actually did something great on the field or wherever.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it needs to be decided what they did on the field to get them into the hall and not rubbing elbows and wearing tuxedos all the time.
Exactly. Which means, folks, Moronic Republic, Dak is never going in the hall. Let's cut that right now, because I've had people in the past 3 weeks said that if Dak were to retire this year, he should be considered for the hall.
You mean this idiocy?
Yes. Yes.
For God's sake.
That's something that the detective will deal with at a later time. But Doug, who do you have in this?
Well, like I said, Randy Moss, it took forever for him to get in. Racing wise for me, honestly, I mentioned the name a minute ago, Harry Gant.
Right.
He had that streak in 91 ripping off 4 in a row. They called him Mr. September because of it. Because everything happened in the month of September for him.
Right.
I mean, he came back from getting the whole front end of that car basically punched off at Martinsville with about 100 to go to win the race.
Right.
I mean, the right front of that car was missing, and the hood was held down by a bungee cord, and that car was still so dominant, he still won the race with it.
Mm-hmm.
So Harry Gant needs to get into the NASCAR hall. There's no question around that. It has to happen.
Right.
Dealing with baseball or basketball, man, there's just too many names on my hit list. There really is.
There's one, and he just passed away recently. Pete Rose.
Yes.
That's
hell with what he did off the field.
I'm saying right now, that is the one thing I will always fault MLB for. The fact that you were so scared and you were so indignant that you could not put your own ego aside and give Pete Rose his flowers while he was still here.
The WWE put him in their Hall of Fame before MLB did this. I mean, come on. What type of insanity is this?
Yes. How in the world does Pete Rose get into the WWE Hall of Fame?
He gets choke slammed by a doggone cane twice.
Yes.
And he gets into the Hall of Fame, but yet again, his majestic career in the MLB isn't worthy about going into Cooperstown?
It's ridiculous. I've had these, I can't even call them fights. They are wars.
Yes.
It was like, well, he bet on baseball. You can't bet on baseball and be considered for the Hall because that interrupts the purity game. What if he rigged games against his team? One, there's no proof of that. And two, it's his money.
Exactly.
If he wants to bet his money, he can bet his money.
As long as it's not affecting his coaching, he's good.
Exactly. But yeah,
no, everyone's got their head shoved up everywhere because, he did this. He damaged the game of baseball. Steroids did more to damage baseball than Pete Rose.
I'll put it this way. Apparently, betting damages the game, but a pitch clock doesn't.
Or
apparently, golden bat.
Yes.
That's totally fine. That won't ruin the integrity of the game. Having a place runner won't ruin the game, but a pitch clock will. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
It's ridiculous.
Baseball has probably, in my opinion, it's one of my favorite sports, but golly, it's run by some of the stupidest people. Manfred
really
is an idiot. Manfred has to go.
Yes, he really does.
Originally, I thought there was no one who could be worse than David Stern. Manfred's getting there.
Yeah, I mean these implementations of stuff like the pitch clock, the ghost runner, now trying to come up with this golden at bat Savannah banana BS.
Right.
Come on, man.
And yet, all of that, and you still couldn't give Pete Rose his flowers. And now he's passed away.
And he ain't gonna get him either.
And
unfortunately.
He's not gonna get him. And for what? What are you trying to prove? What aggravates me is like it's like MLB and a lot of these individuals trying to keep people out of the Hall, the individuals against Roger Craig. It's like they're trying to prove a point
that they have the ultimate power.
Right. And like, what point?
It's maddening, dude. It's maddening.
Yeah, that's why I told Snowman a while back. Like, I don't know if we should really be taking the Hall of Fame serious in NFL.
No, I mean, I hate to say it, you really shouldn't, because yes, there are those that get in that are beyond deserving, but there's also going to be those few apples that don't deserve to be in the Hall, but are there because of the favoritism of the board.
Yes.
And that goes for every Hall of Fame.
That's true. That's true. Guarantee you, as much as we rag on LeBron, we know he's going to the Hall first ballot.
Easily.
Even if we sit there and scream and complain, there's no way he deserves it. He getting in there first ballot.
Yeah, he is. He really is. And that's the thing is it doesn't matter at the end of the day what the pundits are going to say. His action, his play on court, even though we all will question it till the end of time, he will end up being a Hall of Famer.
It's my first ballot too.
Easily.
The only Hall of Fame I can even take seriously nowadays is the NHL, and that's only because they actually put in genuine Hall of Famers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the WWE Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the NHL Hall of Fame are the three Hall of Fames I take seriously. The rest can go
die in a hole. I understand.
Yeah, the NASCAR one is that the NASCAR one. I'm just shaking my head at from time to time.
That's the funny one. NHL seems to always get stuff right.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
In most situations, it seems like for some reason, NHL kind of gets it right in the nose. I'm not saying they're perfect, but they seem to get it on the nose for the most part. The Hall of Fames seem to be more deserving. Some of they don't really change the game all that much, like how MLB has, and really how NFL has.
Right.
I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't take this off tangent, but I need to go back to the hit on Trevor Lawrence, if I may be able to do so.
Hang on 1 second. I got you.
Now, this dude, Shahir, that's his name, right?
Yes.
This dude, something is mentally wrong with him. There has to be. I've never seen a player more indignant when they do something wrong on the field. See, the first person who saw this was Droid, and he's the one that told Snowman and I about the hit. And then my computer started having mishaps, so I didn't get a chance to see. I saw the halftime show, and that's when I saw the hit. And I'm like, oh my God, he needs to be out the league. He needs to be gone.
I saw the hit this morning as I was flipping through the channels, and that was just he had the opportunity to pull up and he didn't.
I mean, for Trevor Lawrence is sliding.
Yeah.
Most players, when they're sliding, they put their hands out to say, as soon as he hits the ground, I touch him, and that's the end of the play. You also have the rule of the quarterback giving themselves up as a runner. When they initiate the slide, that's when they're giving themselves up. So that's also the end of the play.
Yep.
But you lowered the boom on him. And then you have other players coming at him because they're protecting their quarterback who just got rammed.
I mean, as you do. As your teammate, you do.
Yes. And then Shahira, who took off his helmet, is Josh Jacobs, one of the players, saying the phrase, quote, "I will kill you." Like, bruh, you're in the wrong. Not to mention, he's jaw-jacking with the fans. Now, look, I am never a proponent of fans throwing anything at the players. You don't know.
No, that's some bull that doesn't need to happen anywhere.
Yes, you know better than that. You know you need to behave like you've been there before. Throwing stuff at the players, throwing stuff at talent, I will never condone. But I do understand their frustration and their anger when someone just does an absolute dirty play.
Yeah.
But now he's trying to get in the stands. They had to hold him back because he was trying to make it break for the stands.
This was going to turn into a Malice in the Palace all over again.
Exactly. I'm like, bro, you have to go somewhere. If I am the Houston Texans, I'm pulling him in the office. I'm like, look, bro, we're going to have to suspend you for like a good month. Now, I think they said it's like right now he's suspended for 3 games. I believe
yes,
that's the
yes, it is 3.
The penalty. It been the rest of the season for me.
It would have been the rest of the season for me and all of next season.
Now you need to go and get your head checked because he has been wilding for a while.
Yep.
And again, the fact that you do it to this degree and you're this indignant, like you're like, I did nothing wrong. Nah, bro, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Because that has no place. That seemed like you were intentionally trying to hurt someone. That's not right. Because imagine if that were CJ Stroud. Imagine if that were Caleb Williams or Justin Fields or something. Imagine if that was Patrick Mahomes. And you blow the boom on that.
You'd probably be banned for the rest of the season.
You be banned for life, I believe.
For life?
Right.
You probably, if that were Brock Purdy, oh my God.
Oh dear God.
Snowman would come after you personally.
Right.
You would have a personal vendetta to get your ass.
First thing that would happen is
you fool.
But
and then after that, it turns into an absolute slobber knocker.
Yes. Because again, it's like it's not even just like Trevor. Like you shouldn't do that to any quarterback.
No.
That shouldn't happen.
He's been sliding for 2 yards when he lowered the hammer down.
And then the killer part, right? Because I hang around a lot of the football Twitter spheres.
I pity you sometimes, dude.
It's self-inflicted partially. One individual said, well, it's a bang bang play. What you expect him to do? Stop in midair? I'm like, bruh, he had a full 2 seconds to pull back. This is not like a person launched and just the person launched, the other person, the quarterback slid, and then he can't stop himself.
Wait a minute. They said this was a bang bang play?
It was a bang bang play.
Hold up.
I don't remember asking you a thing.
Agreed. The way this guy explained it was that, well, when he committed to the hit, it's not like he can stop. I'm like, he had a full 2.5 seconds to reroute his energy. I get when you're a defensive lineman and you commit and you already are in that leap, and either the quarterback's already thrown the ball or he's sliding. Yeah, there's nothing you can do there. There's nothing you can do there because you're already in midair. You gonna commit now. But this situation where Trevor slides, there's a 2-second delay. And then you see Shahir, lower himself to just crack him.
Yeah.
It's like
he had time to pull off.
He had time to pull off. He had time to reroute himself. He had time to say, "Oh, he's about to slide. Let me deviate. I can still touch him when he's down." But
he probably had time to do a whole prayer.
Yeah. But yeah, there have been people saying it was a bang bang play. I've had morons say that was a clean football hit.
Hell no.
I'm apparently Dominican Sue's stomp was also a clean football hit for you, apparently. What? Yes. That was a clean football hit.
What?
That was textbook.
What?
Nothing wrong with it.
What?
Y'all just being soft.
What?
This is real football.
Bitch, please.
Again, if I'm Goodell, I've made all these concessions to where roughing the passer is literally you having bad breath in the quarterback's general direction. I've made complaints about that. I've made complaints about actual clean hits that don't hurt the quarterback, but just because he just lets go of the football is roughing the passer. That he barely puts any pressure on the quarterback is roughing the passer. I've talked about some of the bonehead rule changes. What I will not condone is someone lowering their shoulders, lowering their head, and trying to cause head-to-head collision with a quarterback that's already slidden.
Right.
No chance, no how. I'm done. But Shahir, you need help, bro. Maybe you need to talk. Maybe you need to be in the same position as Antonio Clown, because you need help, bro.
Man, for him to get into the same place as Antonio Clown, he'd have to go here.
So I realized that I think even though it's not advertised,
right,
there has to be a place for stupid people. We don't know because we're not stupid, so we don't know anything about it. It's like a secret club society.
Oh my gosh.
So I come to the conclusion that he graduated from SU, stupid university. Yeah, all the stupid ass letters that go along with graduating high honors of being stupid. I can't do no more, man.
Vámonos, dominos, vámonos. Stupid university, where everyone graduates magna cum stupid.
I'm done with that. Anything you guys want to add?
All I gotta say is the not so random musings of
I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to lay down.
And I think that's the cue to get out of here, everybody. Yeah. Tomorrow we will have more on the college football playoff picture with Deets. Probably sneak in a little bit of the Juan Soto sweepstakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to $600 million right now.
Oof.
There's about 6 teams involved, and 2 of them are from New York. Why are we not surprised?
We're not.
Not at all. And I guarantee y'all tomorrow, Snowman will be here to take control of this party. But until then, take care. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams aren't scaring you, they simply aren't big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are. We hope y'all are too. Till we meet again tomorrow, everybody. Take care.
See ya. And Mark Republic, don't be fooled. Don't let these last 2 victories fool you. We ain't going nowhere in the playoffs.
Oh, you had to do that because we all know.
This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation.
I'll take it because it's not Tam. See y'all tomorrow.
Deeds, join us and we will make predictions for the college bowl games, everybody. See you tomorrow.